Hey everyone, welcome to another great episode of the Smooth Business Growth Podcast, where we share 15 minutes of fast-paced, pure marketing strategies proven to move the needle in your business. So I'm your host and Captain Lyndsay Phillips. I am the founder of Smooth Sailing Business Growth, where we help busy entrepreneurs attract and acquire customers faster through powerful and consistent content marketing. So today we're going to be chatting with Craig Cody, CPA, certified tax coach, and author of Secrets of a Tax-Free Life. So he's going to share with us the biggest tax mistakes that business owners make, which of course we all want to save money. So let's set sail. So welcome aboard, Craig.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm very psyched to be here.
Awesome. So, I mean, as an entrepreneur, the name of the game, right, is to make more money. And of course, part of that is to spend less money. And of course, not give all our money away to the tax man.
Yes, keep more of what you make.
I know, exactly. And I think this is really an area that's often an oversight, right? So what are some of the biggest mistakes that you see small business owners making in regards to taxes?
Well, the biggest mistake is failure to plan. People are going to buy a vehicle. They go and they search online. They get through all this research and stuff like that. Comes for tax time, what do people do? They don't do anything all year round. They don't talk to their CPA or their tax professional. Yeah. All right. And then they drop, a bomb on them in March or April when that guy's probably as busy as he's going to be all year. So there's no time for planning. So people need to take the time, reach out to their professional and say, what can we do? What can we do to make my taxes more efficient and so I could keep more of what I make?
I know. It's such a weird thing. We all hate tax time and we all hate giving our money away, but then we never plan.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
we're all guilty.
Right. So you need to just take the time. You need to work with somebody who, when you communicate with them, they will communicate back with you. And you need to do it all year round. All right. Because if you don't talk to them, they can't help you and you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, totally. I was just going to say, I get in talking to your CPA, how often should you be talking to them and what kind of information should you be giving them where they can pick up on stuff to help you strategize?
Well, you should definitely be sharing your P&L, your profit and loss. Yeah. Okay. We like to speak. What we typically do is we set a WebEx or a Zoom meeting once a month with our clients.
Oh, nice.
And we go over the P&L. And really what that does is you learn about things that they're doing. So It's not so much that you're focusing on the P&L, but I decided I'm thinking about buying this, or I'm thinking about expanding here or doing this. And maybe there's a way to do it more efficiently.
Ooh,
so if you know about it, you can help them. It's like the doctor doesn't call you up and say, are you sick? You go to the doctor when you're sick. So you need to communicate. And so that's what the purpose of those calls are, to see what's going on and to give you the guidance that you need.
And I guess, too, in speaking with your CPA more regularly, you'd be able to tap into so many different opportunities. Are there certain opportunities that you find a lot of entrepreneurs miss?
Well, they missed all the planning opportunities, and maybe they could have done, if you didn't speak with the person all year round and then you start talking to them in January and you're ready to buy a big piece of equipment that maybe you could have bought in December and you had a really great year, stuff like that, or what other different types of planning you could have done. So it's just important to have that communication so they can give you the guidance. That's what they do. And typically, you make your money doing what you do. Have a professional, it's like you don't stuff envelopes, right? If you're making $100 an hour, you shouldn't be stuffing envelopes. So there are certain things you shouldn't be spending your time on. And then reviewing your P&L, you see where money's going. And maybe you're spending money in places where you should not be spending money, okay? So that's all important, and that's the reason why you want to communicate and look at those numbers.
And so how far ahead do we need to plan? Like, what is proactive tax planning and how can it really affect your bottom line when it comes to your taxes?
Well, you could plan very far ahead when you're in the beginning stages and you're forming your entity. What is the game plan? All right. And if my game plan is to grow this business and sell it, if it's in a certain type of entity, am I better off when I sell it down the road? Am I going to get tax benefits? So those are all things that, so you could plan out many, many years for the eventual end game. You should definitely be planning for what's going on in this year. All right. And then as the year goes on, you're looking more to what's going to happen next year. Do you want to start paying for stuff now? Does it make sense? So it's a constant thing. And I wouldn't say, well, you don't want to talk about what's going to happen in 3 years, but if you're selling your business, you want to make sure all your systems are correct and stuff like that. So why not start today? And the earlier you start, the better you're going to be.
That's true. And I know you have an awesome book that's the 10 most expensive tax mistake that can cost business owners thousands. I would love it if you could share a few of those and maybe what some of those big mistakes are. Sure.
Well, the biggest one was failing to plan.
Yeah.
There's audit paranoia. And if the government says you can do something, do it and document that you're doing it correctly. Choosing the wrong type of business entity. There's a lot of people out there that have jobs and they're making money and then they go off and they start another type of business that eventually they want it to be their main business. Should that company, should it be an LLC? Should it be an S corporation or a corporation? What's the best structure and how is it going to save you money? So you have to talk about that kind of stuff. Retirement plans, as a business owner, we want to put money in, we want to build and build and build, but we forget about, putting money away for retirement. So you save money when you do that. So you want to do stuff like that.
So how do you save money by putting money away?
Well, if I put money in, let's just say you're a business owner and you have a 401k plan and you put away $18,000. So you don't pay tax now on that $18,000.
Right.
And depending on your tax bracket and the state you're in, there could be significant savings. So and then there are different types of retirement plans and depending on how many employees you have and profit sharing plans. So there's a lot of things to think about. Sometimes it doesn't make sense to have a profit sharing plan. Sometimes it does. You want to look at all that. And it's just, just takes a little bit of planning and you can make all that stuff happen. Another thing is, medical benefits. What type of entity are you? Can you establish a medical expense reimbursement plan? Should you have a health savings account? What's the situation? What's going to work out best for you? Are you going to, we have older clients that maybe they need a lot of dental work, and maybe it makes sense to set up a medical expense reimbursement plan depending on who their employees are and how long they've worked for them. So it's just by communicating with your accountant, CPA, tax professional, and giving them information, they should be thinking about, okay, what can you do? Okay, that's going to be tax efficient for you. Because obviously, if I have to get a set of teeth and I could pay with pre-tax money, I'd rather pay with pre-tax than post-tax.
That makes sense.
Yes. So then there's some of the smaller ones like hiring your kids. Can you hire your kids? The government, the Supreme Court actually ruled, maybe it wasn't the Supreme Court, but there was a court case that ruled you could hire your kid as young as 7 years old. All right.
Really?
We typically tend to say, wait till they're about 11, document everything and figure out how to do it the most efficient way.
Right.
Hire your kids. A home office. Unfortunately, one of the things that's going away with tax reform is there used to be a home athletic facility, which I'm pretty sure went out the window with tax reform, but that would have been your home gym or your pool.
Right.
So, your car expenses, your meals and entertainment. You need to maximize what the government allows you to do, and you document it and you do it right. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't cut corners, document everything.
So keep receipts.
Keep records, keep notes, communicate. The most important thing is that you communicate with your professional.
And it does amaze me, even just talking to entrepreneurs that I know or, people that are on my team, we get into the conversation about, taxes and tax time and write-offs and stuff like that. And I'll mention a few things and they're like, oh, really? You can do that? So it's amazing how many write-offs that that are out there that you just sometimes don't even realize. It's like throwing money out the window.
I get asked things so many times that, to me is, of course, I'm taking a continuing ed course. Can I write that off? Of course, Why do you think they have these in Vegas and Florida and stuff like that? So those are things that you need to know. Okay. And by communicating, you know, just try it. You'll see, you'll be amazed.
Yeah, I know. And it's, I guess, knowing what the right questions to ask are, right?
Just if you're working with the right person,
Yeah.
even if you're not asking the right questions, they should lead you down the path to ask you questions.
Right.
Okay. And this way, you know what's going on, and, you know, it doesn't happen overnight, and it takes two to tango.
So I have a question for you. So let's say, you know, you feel like you haven't done it right in the past few years. You meet a new CPA, or they call you, and so you plan for the next year. Can you go back to the past years and right your wrongs, so to speak, if you have that documentation?
If you've made mistakes,
yeah.
Yes. If you made mistakes, you can go back basically 3 years from the date of filing.
Okay.
So, and we've had that situation before, and we had one client, we saved him about $87,000.
Sweet.
Yes. Yeah, it was. He was happy.
I bet. Oh my God. So yeah, even knowing that you can go back and you get a mulligan.
you can't rewrite history, but you can fix things that were incorrectly reported.
Right.
Okay. So if you didn't do it, you can't fix it. But if you did it, you can fix it.
So if there were like a handful of things that you didn't write off, you can go back and reassess, so to speak.
Correct. Or,
that's good to know.
Or the accountant didn't get to put him down because you went to see him on March 14th and the return was due March 15th.
Right. I'm sure that happens. And just to remind everyone here, what are the big deadlines that are coming up?
Well, this year, should be March 15th is typically the date, unless it falls on a Saturday or Sunday. Then I believe April 15th falls on a weekend, so it's April 17th, I think, this year. And then you have the opportunity for an extension depending on what type of entity you are.
Right.
So, but don't wait for the deadline. Get in touch with your professional, start communicating, because, most firms are really, really busy February, March, and the first 2 weeks of April. So it's very hard for them to really do a lot for you because they're overwhelmed. And that's the importance of, we work with our clients all year round.
Nice.
Okay. And that's the important part of it.
And what is the difference between a CPA and what is this term tax coach, and what does that mean?
Okay. So a tax coach does not have to be a CPA, but it's somebody that goes and most of them are either CPAs or enrolled agents. Okay. Mm-hmm. And they go for additional training. Okay. We usually do probably through the certified tax coach, we probably do another at least 40 hours a year in training. And it's just the people that are really looking for planning, ways to plan and ways to help their clients versus the typical, depending on your state you're in, you need to get 36 to 40 hours. So we get our 36 to 40 and then we go to learn some more.
Wow.
And, just because somebody isn't a CPA doesn't mean that they don't know what they're talking about. I know plenty of EAs that can run circles around, so you want somebody that's really out there and is continuously learning.
Well, there's so many ins and outs and legalities and fine tooth combs and there's just so much to know. And I know for me, I wish there were tax coaches in Canada. It's not a thing. I know, it's so frustrating. I Googled the heck out of it. It doesn't exist. But yeah, if I had a tax coach up here in Canada, trust me, I would dial them up.
Right.
Now, I know you also have, I don't want people to miss out on this. I know you have a guide that's the 10 most expensive tax mistakes that cost business owners thousands. They've gotten some great tips from you today on this podcast show, but how can they get their hot little hands on that? So
they could come to our website and we're going to have a separate special landing page. We'll give you that, but it's www.craigcodyandcompany.com/smooth. Okay. And this way that'll take them right to an opt-in page and they could get a copy of our book mailed out to them.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Right. And obviously they can go to your website there. I'll have the links on our show notes and stuff like that. So that is this week's 15-minute cruise to move the needle in your business. It's come to an end already. It goes by fast. And I want to thank you so much, Craig, for sharing your tax wisdom with us.
Thank you for having me. It was very good. And stay warm up there.
I know. And so for anyone out there listening, if you're looking to achieve faster growth through blogs, videos, podcasts, and social media marketing, look no further than smoothbusinessgrowth.com. So I wish you all a profitable and productive week, and may the winds always be at your back.